Lucia's report described Annex Shrine in detail, but her words failed to convey the overwhelming strangeness of standing here in the... I think I've brought this up before. I don't know how to actually... like... Demesne? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to say the domain of dragons. I should actually look that up. Later. Winning over the worm. Alphino seems eager to press on. Though I expected no better answer from Vidofnir, I take little pleasure from having been proven right. 'Twould seem that our presence at Zenith will be every bit as unwelcome as I had anticipated. But what is the ire of one great worm to a trio of self-confessed fools such as ourselves? Let us begin our ascent. After you, Master Alphino. Scout ahead if you wish, Lavenza. We shall join you outside Mogholm. It makes me wonder, because there is a Sawmall hard mode, and there's monsters in it. So, like, when did that happen? When did, you know, creatures start coming back? You know, because at least a few times now, people have just made their way through Sawmall. Seemingly, at least as far as we know, with no issue. The Lord Commander seems lost for words. Nor can I blame him. I recall being similarly awestruck when I first beheld this vista. You know, can't really see much. It's gorgeous when there's not, like, fog or whatever the hell this is. It looks more like a sandstorm or whatever, but I don't think there's sandstorms this high up. I had heard tales of the world above the clouds, but never did I dream. One's mind paints a pale picture of its majesty. Few live to see such wonders. I am reminded of my first visit to this peak, when Estinian and Ysael yet walked at our side. Kupopo? Is that you, Lavenza? Ah, if it isn't don't tell me you've forgotten my name, Kupo. After all we've been through together? Well, it's a churning mist one, so isn't it Moghan? But at least you remember me. You do remember me, don't you, Lavenza? No, Moglin is the, like the, it's not chief. It's not king, it's chief. Apologies, friend, but all Mughals look the same to me. No, of course I do, Moghan. Phew, you seemed a bit hesitant for a moment there. But I'm sure you were just fondly recalling the time we camped near Zenith, right, right, Kupo? But putting our shared history to one side, what brings you and your friends to Mogholm, Kupo? And actually think it back, because I remember doing this the first time, because they do this a few times where you are, like, reintroduced to a character you've met before, and you have to, like, confirm you know their name. And I think I remember getting it right the last time, but it was a total guess. Where this time I actually remembered. Obviously, because there wasn't as much time in between. Ah, another audience with old Hraesvelgr? Well, I hope you've brought the horn, Kupo. With the winds as gentle as they are, It doesn't look gentle. A good loud toot should reach the great worm's ears easily enough. You know, there's clearly something going on back there. That is good to hear, Moghan. Thank you. We had best press on to Zenith while the winds are in our favor. Now that was unexpected, Kupo. Chieftain Moglin will want to hear about this. Yeah, it's interesting. I think by and large, and this was noted in Quasi's YouTuber streamer. You know, he's one of the, you know, the WoW players, you know, coming to play 14, and I've been watching his stuff on YouTube, and he's made note of like the weather and particularly how it, whatever's going on in the weather at the time is actually reflected in cutscenes, and I'm pretty positive that that's not always the case. There's a few times when it will, I think, force like a time of day or whatever, and potentially weather. In this case, it may have been good to actually do that, just because. Oh yeah, what does it say? Gales, because you know the way the characters are talking is not the same as what you actually see, which is, you know, my immersion. Pray sound the horn, Lavenza. We must win Hraesvelgr to our side, to our cause. Jeez, that's again where my brain is working faster than I'm reading. Fail in this, and Ishgard's fate is all but sealed. And then this. Wow, that's a much more complex tooting than previously used. But even according to what's gone on before, like during gales like this, Hraesvelgr should be down below hunting. But this time he heard us, I guess. You dare summon me again, mortals?
Great Hraesvelgr, 'tis not lightly that we beg this audience. Pray hearken to our words, for they concern the future of man and dragon both.
Greetings, Hraesvelgr. I am Emmerich de Burrell, acting ruler of the nation of Ishgard. I am come before you to parley on behalf of my people.
To parley? Thinkest thou thy purpose unclear to me? Thou art come to beg mine aid in the battle against the shade of my brood brother.
You foresaw mine intent.
I but read that which is writ plain in thine eyes. Would that thou had wit enough to scry the answer in mine. My beloved Shiva did once build a bridge twixt man and dragon, a bridge which thy treacherous forefathers saw fit to tear down, as thou well knowest. Thinkest thou Nidhogg was alone in despairing at the murder of our brood sister? Thinkest thou mine own soul did not cry out for vengeance? Know then that upon that accursed day my heart did wither in my breast, and thy kind become unto me the harbingers of despair. 'Tis only Shiva's gentle dream that preventeth me from flying at Nidhogg's shoulder. Be grateful that I swore to abjure aggression ere I consumed her. I permit my children to offer or deny thy aid as they see fit, to warn thy people of my brood brother's coming, that thou wouldst dare ask more of me, but affirmeth thine incurable arrogance.
We understand that in your despair at man's betrayal, you seek only the refuge of solitude. But despite your protestations of spent faith, do you not still nurture the smallest flame of hope?
Perceiveth thou such light in the dusk of mine existence?
I do. If you claim I see falsely, then tell me, why did you consent to bear Rizel upon your back?
Isael, piteous, deluded Isael. The child did lament her past sins, and sought to balance the scales with her remaining days. 'Twas her unquenchable passion, so alike to that of my beloved, which did spur me into flight. And for mine own part, I would countenance no longer the hands of evil men to use my brood brother's eye for ill.
So you do distinguish between those who acknowledge and repent their sins and those who perpetuate them. Interesting. It seems to me that you have not, in fact, lost faith in mankind as a whole. Rather, you weigh our respective merits by how we allow the past to influence our future.
Spare me thine ideal sophistry, or idle sophistry. Even were there a mote of truth in thy reasoning, what of it? Wouldst thou have me slay mine own sibling to save a city of mortals?
Should we suffer ties of blood to bind our hands, then? Nay, if the crime is one of unconscionable evil, we must needs condemn it, even should the transgressor be our closest kin. When my father corrupted himself and his followers with the power of a primal, I beseeched the warrior of light to slay him, an act alike to patricide. That he did not die by my hand matters little. If anything, it heaps greater disgrace upon my name. But had my father not fallen, he would have drawn countless thousands into a holy war of hellish proportions, which I hold the greater crime. Thus did I order his execution, sparing the lives of my people and yours. Alas, your brother Worm now prepares to murder those whom I sought to spare. What is more, he has taken my comrade's body for his own. But if I must slay my dearest friend to defeat my direst foe, I will not flinch from my duty.
And Alphino is not going to like that. Probably going to get a reaction shot here. No. Thou wouldst strike down thy friend, and, by example of thy righteousness, persuade me to break mine oath and kill my kindred? Ooh. Papa's coming in. Heed me, my child. The servants of Hydaelyn envision a different outcome. They intend salvation not only for Ishgard, but for the doomed dragon slayer as well. Yeah, and Aemeric doesn't know about that. Believest thou this shade to be Nidhogg returned? Is it not merely a manifestation of his vengeance, the shadow cast by thy brood brother's rage? I would not command thee, but ponder well thy course, lest it lead thee unto greater remorse. What will you say? While this shade of vengeance remains, the future will ever be uncertain. Help us save our companion. Yeah, I think the second option is too narrow. Nidhogg's transformation into rage incarnate is, in part, of mine own doing. I rendered unto him mine eye, and empowered his revenge thereby. But 'tis the purity of my brood brother's wrath that lendeth him his all-surpassing might. Hast thou the strength of will to stand against so terrible a shadow, I wonder? 'Twould seem I must put thee and thy companions to the proof. I shall await thee in the ruins wherein Ratatoskr once dwelled. Heed well the words of my children, and hasten thee to the place of thy trial. Okay, so it's like Ratataskr's home. I didn't remember that piece of lore. It's interesting what form Midgardsormr chooses to be to come in. You know, the little dragon or the dragon mount. Ooh. Oh, yeah. The Mughals do get involved with the trial. They're the first or second boss. I don't recall the order. Another day, another trial. Such ordeals must seem almost mundane to you by now. Would that I could say the same. It's like, it's part of the job. I believe I spied a wyvern landing just outside the palace. It is doubtless one of the children of whom Hraesvelgr spoke. Come, my friends, let us not keep our escort waiting. Oh, okay. For the sake of Ishgard, I shall overcome whatever trial is placed before me. And I have no doubt that you will do the same, Lavenza. Oh, that's right. Each of us gets tested. That's right. My broodmates and I will bear you to the place of your trial. Make your preparations. Okay, yeah. Sorkai. Let us do the thing. This is a cool dungeon too. I really like the boss fights in it. Ooh, this is... I have not seen this cutscene in a long time. I didn't realize... or, you know, remember that this is what it all looked like. God, great music. I mean, it goes without saying, but... So I know typically, like, this is... I don't know that I'm gonna do... Well, yeah, there's... Okay, they're not doing enough damage to me that I can't just do full-on full. This is one of those I've done recently, too, like in... You know, whatever roulette. And, still, I think, a bit pre-programmed to, you know, be concerned with whether or not I can take it all. So this is, yeah, okay, yeah, the chieftain. Okay, no cutscene or anything. This is as far as you go, Lavenza. You and your ridiculous name won't make it past me, Kupo. Okay, I gotta kill him. Or, well, incapacitate. Kupopo, that's enough. You've made your point. This isn't a fight to the death, Kupo. Oh. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, there is a cutscene here. It doesn't really explain what Moglin and all them, like, what their intention was. I guess just to be a part of it and, you know, test us. Have some fun. Nice. I think that's the first time I've ever been able to actually get all the eggs down. Takes doing it unsynced. Maybe I've done it more recently, but... Man, it's amazing the difference in... I mean, obviously this is 2 expansions ago, but still... Just how little damage I take from them. Still really curious when, you know, when it's going to become too much. Okay, yeah, this is the second fight. This one's a cool one. Although, how much of it we're going to get to see remains to be seen. None of it. Just a tank and spank. I do like the mechanics of that fight, though. Outside of Moglin, like, you know, this, the fights in here, you know, go off of the standard, or go away from the standard, circular arena. Which typically when they do that, it's not just, okay, well, we're making it like a triangular arena and that's it. Usually, like, there's something else. Thou hast weathered my trial thus far, but I am not convinced. I will try thy limits. But, like, obviously, like, going up against Hraesvelgr and, you know, it being well, it goes from one large-ish arena to a bunch of smaller circular arenas. I was just thinking, I actually hope I can go a bit further soloing dungeons. Just because I think it would be interesting to solo Bardam's Medal. I'm thinking about the one boss that's, you know, you don't really fight him, you just have to play the game right. And I'm wondering if there's any detriment to playing that solo. Nidhogg will spare thee no clemency, and thus neither must I. Very cool. So how quick is this gonna go? Come, warrior. Show me what strength doth remain in thy frail mortal shell. Jeez. The sky is the domain of dragons. How wilt thou contend with such mastery? Thou art formidable, but canst thou endure until the bitter end? Well, seeing as my, like, natural HP recovery seems to be counteracting your attacks, I think I'll be alright. Thy resolve hath something. Thy resolve hath withstood my scrutiny. Mayhap there is hope to be had in one such as thee. Well, thank you for the confidence. Even bereft of an eye, my brood brother was a fearsome foe indeed. But having tasted thy strength firsthand, full well can I imagine how thou didst bring him low. The dread title of Azure Dragoon is no empty appellation. So that's another confirmation, or or acknowledgement that you've played Dragoon, right? Very well, I shall trust in the seed of man one last time. By thy deeds shall the flickering hope that lingereth yet within my heart be kindled anew, or extinguished forever. Oh, here they come.
Your trial is ended as well, then?
Yeah, it was easy. He's like panting. He probably just had to take on like a tiny worm.
Mine was brutal beyond reckoning. Vedfalnir seems ill-acquainted with the notion of mock battles.
Oh no. Alphino had to take on... Oh, was that Vidofnir? I'm not entirely sure that Vidofnir's model is unique. I think so far from what we've seen, it is. That you yet stand is ready proof of your determination, mortals. Let us fight as allies, then, and together banish my brood brother's vengeful shade. On my oath, the wrath that once was Nidhogg shall meet its end. This I swear on the memory of my beloved Shiva, and on the soul of lost Ysael. Vedfalnir cannot be faulted for effort. He is every ilm the proud warrior, or should I say, every yalm. Oh, my poor ribs. Hraesvelgr saw fit to pair me with Vidofnir, okay. But her ferocity was such that I began to wonder if I hadn't simply imagined her injury. Yet my trial pales into insignificance next to yours. How fared you in your duel with Hraesvelgr? It's kind of easy. I take from this that your battle was rather more involved than my own. Vedfalnir seemed largely concerned with how long he could keep me rolling in the dust. Between dodging snapping fangs and slashing claws, I scarce had time to aim a blow. Had he truly meant to harm me, of course, I would not be standing here now. Plainly his intent was to teach. His onslaught forced me to recall my training, about the speed of the dragon, his balance, his blind spots. It was, in short, a very thorough lesson. Oh. Moglin and Moghan. Oh. Lavenza, let me begin by congratulating you on the completion of your trial. For one with a name more befitting a jester, you fight with the savagery of a rabid demon. Do you see how my wings are kinked? Even my palm aches. After this drubbing, I fear my loyal subjects will have to bear the load of my personal chores for quite some time, Kapo. Possibly indefinitely. What? When I told you about Lavenza's trial, I didn't mean for the rest of us to suffer. That's triple shifts for you, Moghan. Triple? But that's not fair. There's no justice, Kupo. None at all. Like, it's Moogle stuff. I don't know.
Our negotiations proved rather more strenuous than I had anticipated, but the results seem well worth the effort.
The battle was indeed hard won. Thank you, my friends. I would never have earned Hraesvelga's cooperation had you not seen fit to grant me yours. 'Twas your stalwart heroism that moved the heart of the Great Worm at the last. Any gratitude I can offer is but poor reward for your continued service to Ishgard.
Twould seem our final reckoning with the dread worm is at hand. I only wish we had some inkling as to when he means to strike.
Right now. Oh wow, I was making a guess, but...
Oh gods.
The cry heraldeth his coming. Nidhogg's shade hath taken wing.
It has begun. We must away to Ishgard.
Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream was a lot of fun. We finally killed Nidhogg, finally, for the last time, which I think finishes off 3.3, and we moved into 3.4 with the stream ending after taking on Titan again and meeting poor Gabu. It was fun, but sad there at the end, but fun. If you enjoyed this and want to see it live, come and join me on my Twitch. The link is down below. And again, if you enjoyed this one, please like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, have a good one.